Hello my dudes, and welcome back to my little corner of the internet. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a regular, welcome back. I'm so glad you're all here. Today I have for you podcast episode number 4 of my 2026 podcast series. Now, last week I said I wasn't sure if I would have anything to show you. Well, I was super wrong about that. I have technically one finished object, and then I have 6 different WIPs to talk to you about. I have one acquisition, and then we can talk about books. First, let's do what am I wearing? There's something crispy on there. This is the Field Day cardigan by Ozetta. It is knit up in Knit Picks City Tweed, and I think the colorway was Kelp. I really love this cardigan. It fits immaculately. It is my only cardigan that no matter what I'm doing, it is not falling off my shoulders, and I love that. It's so good. It's a DK weight. You knit the button band at the same time, which is amazing that you don't have to go back and do it then. I recently replaced these buttons with these big shell buttons. They were like cute little Monstera leaves, but they were too small because I didn't read the listing well enough, and they didn't come in a different size. But these I got from Wawak, and they're just big muscle shell buttons, which I really like. And they're perfect. They're the perfect size. So 1-inch buttons was perfect for this. Anyway, I really want to knit another one of these in not this yarn. If I'm having a day where like I'm being extra sensitive to things, then this yarn is itchy for me. Most of the time it's fine, but sometimes it's not. So I would love to knit another one in like a superwash merino. I have a sweater quantity of a light gray, really heavily speckled that I think would be nice for this, but that's not anywhere near the current project plans. So let's jump right in. My technically finished object is I finished the second sample. Actually, I don't know if I finished the second sample last week. No, I had only finished the first one last week. So I did finish the second sample for Purl Soho, and I'm working on the third one. I realized that I was like so absurdly ahead of schedule. Oh, here, it's in this bag. I realized that I was so absurdly ahead of schedule that I didn't need to rush to finish this one in a week. Like the first one, I didn't know how long they were going to take me. I was like really paranoid about finishing 3 things this size. But I finished the first one in a week, and then I finished the second one in 6 days. And so now I'm slowing way down on it. Way down. Way down. Because they're not due until February 18th. So like it doesn't have to take up all of my time. I can knit what I want a lot, and if I do 20 rows a day, it'll be done in 2 weeks, which is still before the end of the due date. Like, let's see. If I do 20 rows a day, it'll still be done by February 8th. So that is completely acceptable for me. I'm gonna try to not let my anxiety take over there and feel like, oh my gosh, if I don't do as much this week as I did the previous 2 weeks, my boss is gonna fire me. No, they gave me a deadline. I just need to finish by the deadline. It's fine. I need to keep telling myself that. Okay. WIPs. final Purl Soho sample, which I just told you about. Let's see, I have 1, 2, 3 WIPs you've seen, and 2 WIPs that are new cast-ons this week. So, for the fun of it, let's start with new cast-ons, okay? This is my, I'm gonna throw it. This is my Fuck Ice hat. I know everybody's knitting the Melt the Ice hat to raise funds and solidarity with Minnesota, and I am 100% for that. I don't really like the design of the Melt the Ice hat, so I didn't want to knit that hat pattern. And I know a lot of dyers are dyeing red yarn, but I had this yarn, so rather than purchase yarn and that pattern, I just donated $35 to Unidos in Minnesota to help with everything going on there. And I am using the If You Knit You Know pattern by Purl Soho. It's a free pattern. It's on my Make 9. I don't know that I'm going to count this one for my Make 9 because I do want one that has like, that says like slip slip knit or something on it. But this one, I haven't decided what it's gonna say. I think it may just say Fuck Ice. Or if I want a more family friendly version, it may say Resist, or I mean, if I can fit it, I'd like it to say Chinga la Migra, but I don't know if it'll fit. I'll have to finish the hat first and see what I can fit on here. This yarn is, I think, Knit Picks Andean Treasure. Is an alpaca yarn. It's a DK weight. I knit a sweater in this yarn, like, literally like 15 years ago, that I never wore a single time because I didn't know what I was doing. That was like my second sweater ever. It was a disaster. I didn't even know the blocking was a thing. So last year I ended up unraveling it. So I have all of this yarn and I think that's what it is, but I'm not 100% sure. It feels like that's what it is. It's super soft. I am modifying this pattern a little bit. I don't mind telling you like all kinds of details about it because it's a free pattern on their website. But you're like, it's a folded hem, so you're supposed to start, well, you're supposed to cast on with size 4 needles, and then knit 2 inches in size 3 needles, and then knit 2 more inches in size 4 needles, and then knit the bottom edge together with your current work to make the folded edge, and then you're supposed to stay with the size 4 needles. I had did that yesterday, and I didn't like how loose the fabric was with the size 4 needles, so I ripped back to here and did the second half of the fold over hem and continuing the body on size 3 needles. And I like that fabric better. It's thicker. I think it'll hold its shape better. But that's the only thing I'm changing. The pattern also calls for sport weight, but I mean, this is a DK, but it's not by any means a heavy DK. I would say it's a light DK, so I think it's working fine for sport weight. I didn't swatch or anything, so I figured I'd do the hem and then see how it fit. And I did try it on yesterday, and it fits good. So I'm making the adult medium, which is 120 stitches cast on. So yeah, that's where we are on that. I think it's gonna look really good. Like, it's not a bright red, but it's definitely like an oxblood. And it's got that kind of natural heathering just because of the nature of the yarn. But it's really nice. So that's the first project, new cast on. Oh, I forgot. I also got back into spinning this week, so we can also talk spinning. I know, I haven't spun since like July. But I was watching Leslie's podcast from last week, Leslie of Knit California, and she showed off her hand-spun scarf that she's knitting, and I was like, oh, I need to get back to my spinning. I mean, I do miss it. I just need to tell my brain that, yes, I'm a knitter, but I'm allowed to do other things. Like, I like doing other things. I don't have to be knitting all the time. I can do other things that I like. I can sit and read a physical book and not be knitting. I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to cross stitch. I'm allowed to spin. I'm allowed to color on my iPad. I need to remind myself that I put too many invisible rules on myself for no reason. Yeah, okay, that's enough. Next new cast on that you guys haven't seen. I don't know which bag it's in. Not that one. Not that one. Is it this one? Yeah! Oh, I actually have a swatch to show you guys too. I wrote notes. Like, these are all notes for today, and I still forgot things. Okay, anyway, this is my next new cast on. This is the Bonbec by Emilie Louise, and I am using Treehouse Knits Trofila Cashmere, the old one, in the colorway Very Beetlejuice. I had knit a lace shirt in this last year, which was a disaster, and unraveled it, and that's why it looks like this. But I'm holding it double. Obviously I haven't gotten very far on this. Oh, I should put a marker on there. You know what? Just hold on a second, please. I'm gonna grab my swatch, and I'm gonna grab my tree of Nightmare Before Christmas markers, and that's the markers I'm gonna use on everything today. And there's another thing I forgot to tell you. Or I forgot I wanted to talk about, but we'll talk about that in a few minutes, okay? Okay, so let's put a stitch marker on my Fuck Ice hat. Although I'm sure this will probably be finished next week. But I'm gonna put the Sally marker on here. Sally would definitely say Fuck Ice. She loves and cares about her neighbors. Okay, so there we go. Focus for next week. I mean, if it's not finished, who knows? I've worked on every project that I have and added more this week. Just been bouncing around everywhere. Okay, now we were talking about my Bonbec. This hood is super cute. It starts just like with a little ribbing to keep it from rolling, and then you just start knitting the neck, and that's where I am. Not very far in. We're going to put Jack on here just because he was the next one in the row there. This is on my Make 9, so I wanted to get something else. I want to try to have something from my Make 9 on my needles at all times. Even if I'm not working on it a super lot, I still want it cast on. So, hence the Bonbec got cast on. It hasn't been worked on a ton, but yeah, that's where we are with that. I really want to work on this more because I really want to wear it, like really bad. It's been so cold this week. My kids have had off school the entire week because of dangerous weather. The first couple days, due to the crazy snowstorm, we got like 14 inches of snow. And then the last 3 days, because one of the days the wind chill was -33, and it's still been in the negative 20s and teens, like when they're supposed to go to school in the morning. So they've been off school for a whole week. Yeah, they're gonna have to make up a decent amount of that, because I think they had already missed 1 or 2 days before that. I don't remember. Maybe it was only one and they had a 2-hour delay one time, but I don't remember. Anyway, they've been home all week, being crazy. Before we move to my next WIP, I showed you this last week, my Teddy Half Zip by Kristen Zimmel. I added a pocket. I had enough yarn. I mean, literally that was all of the curly yarn that I had left. Like, I wanted to make the pocket a little longer, but I couldn't because I ran out of yarn. So I don't think it's attached 100% straight, but I don't care. I actually haven't worn it since I put the pocket on. I wore it twice before I made the pocket, but I also knit this pocket this week and attached it, which was miserable with this yarn. Like, you can see, like, if it's held flat like that, you can barely see the pocket because it's like invisible. But now it has a pocket and I'm very excited about it. So if I have to leave the house, actually I have to leave the house on Sunday because Henry has a Cub Scout thing. He's crossing over from Cub Scouts to Boy Scouts, and it's a big dinner thing. So maybe I'll wear that, because I'm sure it's supposed to still be cold. Okay. Next WIP. This is one you've seen before. This is my leftovers hat. The pattern is the classic ribbed hat by Purl Soho. I'm knitting this up in my leftovers from my tank top, in Demon Hunter and Electric Sheep from Fiona K Knits. And I'm alternating those every other round and holding it double with this, which is Knit Pick Stroll. And I think the colorway is Nevermore, but I'm not sure. So I had just cast on and knit like one round last week, and we ended up taking the boys out to lunch last Saturday, and I knit that much while we were in the car and waiting for food. We took them out as congratulations for both of them getting straight A's in the second quarter. I mean, they got straight A's in the first quarter and we took them out for that too, but man, is it expensive to take 4 people out to lunch. But yeah, so I moved my marker and that's where we are on this. This will probably not get worked on this week. I would rather work on my ice hat and my Bonbec than this at the moment. So this may be a bit of a long-standing WIP, even though it looks so freaking cool. It looks just as cool as the tank top. It's just pooling differently because it's a shorter tube. But very cool. Okay, I've got one more WIP and then a swatch to show you. This WIP you guys haven't seen in, or no, 2 more WIPs. 2 more WIPs. This WIP you guys haven't seen in some time. This is my simple thing. I was here last time I worked on this, and I knit about that much just the other night. I wanted to see if I could work on every WIP that I had this week, so that's literally the only reason that I worked on this. This pattern is by Melina Brell, and the yarn is from Lavender Loon Yarn Company, and the colorway is Rosy Owl. I am pretty heavily modifying the Melina Brell pattern. It's a free pattern, so I don't mind telling you a decent amount about it. But but you're supposed to increase on one side every 4th round, but it makes it increase pretty quickly. And you're supposed to start the point with 9 stitches, like 3 for each I-cord edge and 3 in the middle. I started that and decided I didn't like it, so then I started with 3 stitches for each I-cord and 1 in the middle, and then I'm increasing. I tried every 10 rounds and that still wasn't enough, so this is every 12 rows I increase 1 stitch. And this is definitely what I was looking for, size-wise. So that's that. Okay, now the WIP I forgot about is because I don't actually have it with me because it's too big. The Sweet Shop blanket. My random scrappy Sweet Shop blanket. The pattern is by Laura Penrose. I'm pretty sure I have 90 squares now. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure I have 90 squares and I need 80 more. Here's what the little chart looks like. Although I'm missing 1. I often forget to color it in. Or maybe I colored in the one I'm about to do. I don't remember. So I have either 88 or 90 squares. Here is a little video of all the squares. For this project, I am using all of my fingering weight yarn scraps and I'm holding them double. You can check out the playlist. I think it's on this side. Maybe it's not, I don't know. You can check out the playlist to see every episode of this. I think only up to episode 39 is out right now, so you guys are getting a sneak peek. But the podcast always gets the sneak peeks. So, next. Yesterday, I realized that I don't have any sweaters on my needles, and that is highly unusual for me. Everything on my needle is an accessory, or I have the Sweet Shop blanket. Like, there's no garments on my needles, which is crazy. So I needed to swatch for my next garment. Look at that. It's so good. This is a swatch for the Pluses sweater by Jen Parroccini. This yarn is from Woolen Vinyl. Hold on, let me get the bag and I can show you or tell you what the colorways are. Whoops. Or I can't because there's no tags in here. There's just yarn. Yeah. I don't know. I think this one's Blackbird. This one, I don't know. Actually, you know what? They're in my cabinet here. Let me look. This is Woolen Vinyl Hard Rock DK, which is a 100% superwash merino. This is Blackbird Tonal, and this is Limelight. This was from like a Beatles collection, I think. I don't know, is Limelight a Beatles song? I have no idea. This may ruffle some feathers. I hate the Beatles. I really do. I cannot articulate why, except that I just have a visceral reaction of hatred to their music. It's nothing to do with them personally. I actually don't know anything about them. As a band, as humans, I don't even know which of them are still alive. I don't like their music. Anyway, that's all the knitting. We can chat spinning. So here's a picture of what's currently on my wheel. It is some targee that has been on my wheel for forever. I believe it's from Jakira Farms. I started it in Tour de Fleece, and I just started spinning with it again on Tuesday, I think. But I am really enjoying it. I don't know why I originally stopped spinning. I think it was a deadline thing, but I am hoping to have this spin finished by next week. We'll see. I don't know if I can. Like, I don't really have any concept of how much fiber I spin daily now. I've been doing like half an hour a day because my muscles aren't used to it again. And half an hour is about all I can handle before my thumb and forefinger gets sore. So I don't know if that's doable or not, but that's the goal. And I'm not going to care if it doesn't work. So that's spinning. I do have one acquisition. I told you guys that I got it last week, but it has since arrived. I've got 6 skeins of Purl Soho Fine Print, which is a 75% superwash wool and 25% nylon. This is the colorway Grey Patina. You can see it's like slightly kind of variegated, kind of almost heathered, but also not. Yeah, it's very nice. It's super soft. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with this. I think it may be the Alley sweater, but I don't know. I bought this because I had a gift card. So, got 6 skeins of that to go with the Stormy Superwash sock I showed you guys last week. That will be some, I mean, it doesn't have to go together, but it can. It's not definitive. I don't know. It's not currently important, because that's not what we're working on right now. Yeah, so I guess that leaves book chat. I have finished 4 books since last podcast. I wrote down what they were, but I didn't write down my star writing, so that's not helpful. Wow. So I have to pull up my phone anyway. Sorry if you can hear the recycling truck outside. First, I finished Macbeth by Shakespeare. It was fine. 3.5 stars. Charm by Tracy Wolff, which is book 5 in her Entangled series, I think. I don't remember what she called the series. It doesn't actually have any of the book names in it, so I don't remember. 4 stars. Again, it was fine. The Bible Told Them So, How Southern Evangelicals Fought to Preserve White Supremacy by J. Russell Hawkins. The information was really good in this book. I'm glad to know the things that I learned from it, but it was presented in a really boring way, and it was so repetitive. Like, we don't need to hear every single letter source you have about a particular topic to get the picture. Like, we understand it was overwhelming. Like, just wow. And then I finished Cherish by Tracy Wolff, which is book 5 of that same, or book 6 of that same series, the final book of the series. I gave it 3 stars because I like the characters. I've come to like the characters of this series, but it was so melodramatic. It was, the pacing was horrendous. Like, I could have done without this book entirely. Honestly, the series should have ended at book 4, and she should have just left out book 5 and 6. Like, there's a big time jump between book 1 and 2, and you never find out what happens in that time. And by book 4. And book 4 feels like the end of the series. Everything is wrapped up neat and tidy. But then book 5, you're in the time jump. So, like, yeah, I wanted to know what happened in there. So that's the only reason that one got 4 stars. But honestly, we could have done without it. And then book 6 was not good. Honestly, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I want to change my rating from 3 stars to 2 stars. And my 4-star rating of charm to 3 stars. So I'm going to do that. So we're going to change charm to 3 stars and cherish to 2 stars. So if you see the roll for TBR video where I say that my star rating was different, you guys know. Okay. Now, books I'm currently reading. I am reading so many books right now. First, Brett and I are still reading The Butcher's Masquerade by Matt Dinniman. I started the other night when I couldn't sleep because it was on my shelf right next to me, The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom, which is a story about the Holocaust. And then I started Worn, A People's History of Clothing by Sophie Tranhauser. I'll probably finish that one today. I'm also reading Bad Cree by Jessica Johns, which is a queer indigenous horror. And then my next TBR pick was A Vow in Vengeance by Jacqueline Rodriguez. And I just started that one last night. So, that's the books. And I think that's all I've got for you guys today. It ended up being more stuff than I expected. Who knows what'll happen next week? Who knows? Who knows? Not me. I don't know. Should I know? Maybe. I don't know. There may be a different backdrop next week. My bookshelf has too many books. So we bought a shelving unit to mount to the wall right here. So there may be, I don't know how high it'll have to be, so you may or may not see it. I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah. Thanks everybody for being here. I hope you're having a day. I hope it's good. I hope it's good. That just kind of feels impossible currently. The horrors persist, but so do I. And I hope you are also persisting. I hope you have time, or that you can find time to do something just for you to fill your soul with a small amount of joy. Because, joy is also resistance, and joy keeps us going. Joy fuels the hope. So we gotta find just little bits of it. Did you have a really good cup of coffee? Did your yarn not get tangled in your purse? Was a phrase in the book you're reading really good? Just these little nuggets that to get us through. So I hope you have something like that today. I hope your coffee is perfect. I hope your knitting is exactly what you need it to be. I hope your book is so good that you just want to keep reading it. Or I hope your crochet is perfect and you don't lose your hook in the couch. I hope all of your stitch markers stay where you put them. and you don't lose a hairband. That your favorite hairband never stretches out. These are what I wish for you this week. So, all that being said, like, comment, subscribe, go check out some other stuff on my channel. If you're interested in supporting the channel in some way, I realize this is like stupid right now. Like, no, don't give me anything. Use whatever money you might feel inclined to buy me a pattern with on Ravelry and donate it instead. Okay? Do that. That matters. This doesn't matter. Okay? Like, yeah, it can be that little nugget of joy in your day, and it matters to that extent, but yeah. I love you all. I hope you're staying safe, and I'll see you back here in the next video, whenever and whatever that is. I love you guys. Bye.